Welcome to another day with Jesus, a daily devotional podcast to help you walk with Jesus, live for Jesus, and represent Jesus. Now let us open our heart to receive as Pastor Preji shares from the heart of God.
Good morning and greetings in Jesus' precious name. Welcome to this beautiful new morning. The Lord is doing a new thing today. The Lord is releasing something fresh into your heart and into your life today. I want you to be prepared to receive it. I want you to be intentional to pursue the plan and the purposes of God for your life today. You cannot do that without disassociating yourself from everything that drains the grace of God, that leaks the grace of God, that steals the grace of God from your life. Let me give you the example of King Jehoram in the Old Testament. The Bible says in 2 Chronicles chapter 21 and verse 6, "But Jehoram followed the example of the kings of Israel and was as wicked as King Ahab." Why? The reason is mentioned now. It says, "For he had married one of Ahab's daughters, so Jehoram did what was evil in the Lord's sight." Now, let me give you a little bit of context to who King Jehoram was. He was a great-great-grandson of King David. He was one of the grandsons of King Asa, and he was the son of King Jehoshaphat. And his genealogy involved amazing kings, godly kings, leaders that walked in the ways of God, leaders that brought revival in Judah. And yet, because of this one particular association that he had with the wrong person, all the right associations that he had with his fathers and the fathers and everything got spoiled. Paul would say it like this in the book of 1 Corinthians. He says, "Don't you know that a little yeast is enough to spoil an entire batch of dough? You may have protected this particular dough from everything else, but if you will allow a little yeast in this particular batch of dough, it is going to spoil the entire batch, and you would have to prepare it afresh." And we see the same story here where this man, he married into a family. He married a person who was part of a family that did not worship God. He associated himself with somebody. He became one with somebody. He conversed with a person, and he spent time with a person, and he got influenced, and he tried to get into covenant relationship with a person who did not have the same grace, who did not have the same calling, who did not have the same perspective, the same heritage like he did. And that was the beginning of his disaster. That was the beginning of his downfall. And that is what ultimately led to his destruction. You know, he did not reign in Judah for longer than 8 years. 8 years is a very short time for a king. You know, it may be the normal time for presidents and prime ministers nowadays, but back in those days, kings would reign in a nation for 30, 40, 50 years, depending on how long they live. And here is a king who had such an amazing potential to lead the nation in the ways of God. And yet, because of one wrong decision, the Bible says that he was as wicked as King Ahab was. And he did what was evil in the Lord's sight. And thus his days were cut short. And thus his ministry, his life, his business, everything was cut short. May this not be the story that they say about you and me. May our associations be extremely prayed over and carefully thought over and paid diligent attention over. Can you make a decision today to evaluate all of your time and who you hang out with in your time and who you speak to and who gets to influence your choices and decisions. When you want to buy a phone, or when you want to buy a house, or when you want to marry somebody, who are the people that you consult, and who are the people that influence you in that process? You need to know who are the people that you are married to. Now, I'm not just talking about physical marriage. So often we limit it to only just the physical marriage. We think that as long as I get married to a believer, everything else will be fine. But it's not just about your marriage. It's about who you associate with, who you are influenced by. If that one person is there in your life who is negatively influencing you, that has the potential, that one person has the potential to destroy generations worth of heritage over your life. You may be a son of so-and-so, you may be a spiritual son of so-and-so, you may be wealthy, educated, all of that may be going well for you. You may be an anointed man of God, but that one wrong association is enough, my dear friend. What is the story of King Solomon? The same. He was the wisest person on planet Earth. He was greater than King Jehoram, and he ended up doing the same thing. One wrong association led him away, not just from the people that he ruled, but even from the God that he loved. May our hearts be so careful while selecting and picking and choosing our relationships today. May the Lord expose some daughters of Ahab in your life. May the Lord expose some seeds from Ahab's family. May the Lord expose some representatives of Jezebel in your ministry, in your business, wherever you feel you have a negative influence. May the Lord expose them in this day, before the end of today, before the end of this next 24-hour period. May the Lord expose, may the Lord bring to your attention those spirits, those persons, those voices that need to be eradicated out of your life. I hope this word blesses you, and that you would be realigned to be influenced by the right people and the right persons once again. Thank you for tuning in. Have a blessed and a beautiful day ahead.
We hope you are encouraged by today's podcast. To know more about Pastor Preji or other resources you can avail, or to receive help in any specific area, connect with us at pastorpreji.com. And don't forget to register for Revival Dreamers 2021 at dreamingrevival.com/2021. Hurry! Limited seats available. Register now. We wish you a Christ-filled day ahead.